Alright, well this is Aaron Squire coming to you guys again. We got episode 71 coming at you this time. I'm set 3. Come at me, bro. And I might add Frigid's name in there when this goes to YouTube. I usually try to do that. But tonight on Deck Build the Squire, I got Frigid here. He's kind of new, you know, a little bit, maybe a little shy. I don't know. He doesn't seem that shy actually to me. And we're going to talk about some of the Hex news. We got the Extra Life stuff going on, the Hex update where we've got chests and we've got all kinds of stuff closing out. And set 3 is coming out next week. We're going to talk about a couple of set 3 cards. VIP program is coming back. It's going to be craziness. And then we're going to build another set 3 sealed deck. I think it's a good time to do it right before the set 3 comes out so we can show maybe how bad I am at building set 3 sealed decks, and maybe how much Frigid I need his help to build the sealed decks. He needs to help me along with that. Anyways, Frigid, first time on the show. How are you feeling about it? You know, Deck Build the Squire. You know, finally coming over to the dark side here.
Ah, yes, it is Friday. Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me on, Squire. I'm sorry I know you asked me earlier, and I wasn't able to, but yeah, it's great.
Things didn't line up, but
yeah,
you know, it was Providence. You know, this week we actually have the Hex charity stream going on right now. So if you haven't given any money to the Hex charity stream to all those kids in the hospitals for, I believe it's Extra Life is what they're doing it for, get over there, give them some money, and then come over here for your chance at a free draft after the show is over. You know, that's what you should do. Just saying. That's what a good, healthy American or whatever nationality you are should do. Just saying.
$2,000 in donations in just a couple minutes. That was awesome. That was
Woo! 71 hype. That's
yeah.
right. We're getting ready to head towards 75. Will actually be after Gen Con, and yeah, that's going to be some good times. So, but I really want to know about Frigid. I haven't talked a lot to him. So, Frigid, tell me, what kind of background do you have? You know, what are your credentials in the TCG realm?
Oh, I don't have any credentials.
No credentials? What are you doing here? Get this guy out of here.
No, I've played Magic for a long time. Mostly a drafter. I actually didn't collect any of the cards. I just left them on the table. I just enjoyed the drafting.
Oh, okay. You didn't even try to sell them back and like recoup your losses?
Oh, sure. If it was worth a lot, yeah, I'd sell it for store credit. But yeah, and then when Hex came out, I was long Infinite and Magic Draft, and it just seemed like to scratch that itch because it's very, very hard to not lose money on Magic the Gathering Online. Hex seemed new and interesting, similar in a lot of ways.
Right.
I liked it, and I've done very well in Hex, and I've even done a little bit of Constructed. I came in first in the Brigadon Cup, third in the Sapphire Cup, and some strong finishes in the other cups.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I hope you do well in the Hex universe. So that kind of brings me to, you know, how did you find Hex, and then what kind of content do you do for Hex? Like, I think you know my friend Sithos, or I guess maybe he was your friend first, or something like that.
I don't want to fight over who's more.
Who was more a friend to Sithos?
Yes.
He was on the show like one time, so I mean, something tells me you know a little bit more about him than I do.
I don't know, but yeah, the content I provide for Hex is just starting to get into place. I've been doing a lot of work on my stream, streamlining my overlay. I still want like a clean one, and just doing all the preparation necessary to stream Hex. My internet is very bad, so that held me back for a long time, but I've done some work for that. So now I've done 35 what I call episodes or streams, and I plan on streaming Monday to Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time, and I generally stream drafts and some constructed about 90-10. I'd like to get that to 80-20, but the meta is a bit stale right now.
Yeah, people just don't seem to want to play constructed right now, and I think the asynchronous tournament mode is going to help that out a lot in the future.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
Great for streaming. Absolutely great.
Oh, yeah. So you told me what kind of content you do. So you need to tell me where to find you, because like I need to find you on Twitch so we can watch you. Tell all the people out there how to find you.
if you do want to find me, just go to channel twitch.tv/FridgeTex. Toss me a follow. I would super appreciate it.
Frigid,
and as I said,
Frigid is spelled Fridged, like that?
Yes,
Frigid?
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. FridgeTex. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I forget what I was gonna say, so moving on.
So moving on, right? We got some news to talk about. So let's head over to the show screen. Yes. So we got the release celebration. It's going on right now, like I just said about a couple of minutes ago. If you haven't given to the, what is it? It's Child's Play, I believe. Then get over there
Extra
and give.
Life.
You know, $5 gets you into a lot of really cool drawings, and it's for the kids. You know, I'm a father. I've got kids. I would appreciate it. But also, while you're watching that stream, get on Hex and start doing some awesome arenas, because it's 50% more gold in the arena. And I think it's about right when Corey said that in the arena we make between 70 cents and like 90 cents per hour. You know, when you're talking about the arena, so 50% more than that, that's a little bit more than $1. Like when you get those, basically the promos, you buy the promos and you sell them on the auction house. And those promos, if you held on to them long enough, are going to be worth a decent amount of money. So anything to talk about with the charity stream? I'm really enjoying watching it for the limited time I've been able to. Have you gotten a chance to see it, Frigid?
Yeah, actually, it was Thursday morning, midnight to 6. I co-hosted the charity stream with Neurogenuous, and we had a great time. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I bet. That's awesome. That's sweet that they're hooking you up as a streamer in the community.
It's not my normal hours, but and I was a bit wiped after just talking for 6 hours straight. But yeah, it was awesome.
6 hours is a long time to talk.
Well, there's some people out there doing it for 12 hours, and more power to them.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, we've got the Hex update of July 10th, which was today. Chest opening. Basically, they've upgraded the chest opening. I would play this video, but I'm having some issues with the video, but it's a great video of Corey explaining his methodology. He shows you an old Popeye cartoon about the chest opening, and there's definitely an upgrade with it. And then also some of the cool stuff with the Wheels of Fate, and basically just rolling up those chests. That's coming in this next patch. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to roll up some of those chests, except that I don't have a lot of money because I've been trying to buy all the promos, so it's like, and plus I already rolled up some, so I don't even know what I'm going to get. So
I just linked the video in the chat there for you there.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that, the chest opening? I mean, it seems pretty awesome, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't have too many primals myself. It's a little bit expensive to roll on those legendary chests.
Yeah.
I think I have 10 set 1 and 4 set 2. And yeah, I think probably the best ways to get them is probably rolling on the rares, but there's like special sleeves in there, special cards. Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is one thing.
Tasty.
I think this is one thing that it is that has kind of like been a sleeper lately. Like a lot of people have been worried about Hex, you know, because they look at other digital games that are online, that are card games right now, and they look at our population versus others. I know Scrolls kind of just died, and so there was a post recently on that on the Reddit forums. And the chess thing just is so exciting because that's going to give free-to-play players just one more thing to just take that gold and just dump it into, you know, some of those chests after they played one draft. You know, once they've earned enough money to do a draft, they still have a place that they can throw that gold. So yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting to see. I think we're echoing back a little bit. Do you have me playing there? Is that what's going on?
I do not know.
Maybe I'm echoing myself. I don't think I am, but it doesn't look like it. So I don't know. We'll just keep pressing on. We got another thing.
You might want to reduce me a bit. I just did take out my microphone from behind my computer there, so that's probably it.
I think you're fine.
Okay.
We're going to press on. The extended art, I thought I heard myself echoing back, but the extended art also gets a cool art reveal thing where there's going to be like shimmery stuff around it. Go again and watch the video at the Hex website. It's just another cool reveal thing when you're basically going to have to use that dust to get the extended art. And they have been giving out a lot of dust during the charity stream as well, and you can only get dust from rolling chests, I believe, right? If I remember right. Is that right? I think I'm right.
You can get chests from rolling chests.
Dust.
You can also get it from opening chests.
Right, from opening chests and rolling them up and all that stuff. So, moving on, they've got the Google Authenticator that's coming out. So, not a physical authenticator, but still pretty good. I'm not exactly how that's going to work, but I'm excited to put that on my account and get a little bit more security before the game gets, so big that we start ending up with, some of the bot accounts that you see in a lot of the other popular games that are out there. So pretty excited to see that, and also once it is that this game does get big, you will want to protect your account against some of the more unsavory parts of the internet that are out there. Also talking about more gold, more fun, and then the charity stream again, just hitting that up again. Make sure you've logged into the game this weekend. If you haven't done so already, do it, because you're going to get 4 copies, a full playset of this medal. So that was a lot of things, but did you have anything to throw on there, Fridge? The Authenticator, the gold, the charity stream, the medal?
I don't believe there's anything official, but they will be making some changes to Arena as well.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not with patch day, but shortly after.
Okay. Oh, so like maybe more gold or different things, different bosses. Maybe could be a lot of different changes they could do, right?
Yeah, to me it seems like Zodiac Shaman, with the kind of spells that he casts, seems more like a placeholder boss. I think they should probably revamp his deck to include the new Coyotes.
Oh, yeah,
that's just for starters, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Yeah, and we have seen some changes. I would, what I think I'd like to see is I'd like to see that, what is it, the War Machine boss, or the one that basically voids everything. I like to see that guy just simply kill everything and not void them. I think that would be a lot more fair. But because when he voids everything, it's like he voids your constant. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like, oh, I have a constant in play. At least, oh no, I don't have a constant in play.
Your leeches, that's a fun deck.
Anyways, for all of the people that are grinding up that extra money for PvE, this is your last chance to buy all those alternate art cards. Right now, I personally have a playset of Buccaneer, a playset of Burn, and a playset of Murder. And I don't have the top 3 at all, so I may get some repels right before the store goes live. But Monday is the last time you're going to be able to buy these, so there'll probably be a lot of grinding this weekend to get some more gold to get these, or maybe save the ones you have and then sell them to other people so you can get those drafts and that sort of thing. Fridge, do you have your playset of these, or do you just sell them off, or what do you do with these?
I don't have my playset. I can't do it. I can't do Arena, man.
It's just too much for you.
I got Arena pretty early on. I was lucky to encounter him a couple times.
Oh.
After that, it's just no.
Yeah, I still haven't seen him. Some other people said they saw him in like 125 runs or something, like they saw him once or something crazy like that.
Arena is just not even slightly my cup of tea.
It does.
I'm looking forward to the new dungeons, though.
It does get a little bit boring after a little while, but I mean, what doesn't? Like when you were grinding equipment in World of Warcraft or something like that, eventually, it becomes a more of a chore than something that's enjoyable. But it is what it is.
Here's my thoughts on Arena.
Okay.
Is it something that you optimize, right? You build a deck, maybe you build that orc deck that can clear in 30 minutes or whatever. And you just run through and you're doing the same thing. It's row. But with dungeons and raids, you're going through with your friends. You're going through with like your mates, right? And you're pushing each other to optimize your decks, to work with each other. You're joking around. You're well,
that definitely adds to it. Makes it more enjoyable for sure.
Yeah. So I think the raids are where the PvE content is going to be added.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is barely scraping the surface. Yeah. Moving on, we've got It's a Bard Knock Life, referencing Bard's Tale, is getting ready to close out. So if you guys haven't put money on this Kickstarter to get the cool alternate art Bard card, you get a playset of them. You have to do so. It says you have to spend at least the $20 tier or greater. I'll tell you right now, those are all gone. So the best you can do is $25 in order to meet that. So do keep that in mind. I have Bard's Tale. Sadly, I have Bard's Tale on Steam, or like I have maybe 2 of the Bard's Tales on my Steam account, and I haven't played them because I'm as I am typically, I'm very busy with a lot of other side projects, streaming, or spending time with my family. So but it's something it's kind of neat, so I put some money on it, and I'll get those extended arts, and I think that'll be worth it for me.
Oh, that's the thing I forgot I was gonna say. I'm on Sith's stream, 3 p.m. West Coast, same time. Yeah, same time as my stream. Yeah.
Right.
But Fridays.
Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Because he does Sithos does a stream on Fridays as well, and sometimes he sends his people over them for me, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Next one is the VIP is returning. Now, they haven't fully released all the details to this, and I was in the charity stream right before the show, and Fentio was in there talking to Alucard about a couple of things, and he hinted at a couple of things, but it seems like they're going to do the 3-month basis. It's going to cost $8 a month for the subscription. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to do multiple subscriptions or not on your account. You're going to get all the tickets up front, which is kind of cool. He did confirm that you will get all the tickets up front. So, like, if you miss one of the VIP tournaments, then you can just use your tickets on the next one. Like, you could do 2 tournaments instead of 1, or maybe you could use them all in one weekend if you really wanted to. That sort of thing. So, it's good that they're bringing it back. So it seems like this is going to be something that they're going to inject into the community, and then it'll be around for a little while, and then it's going to go away. Maybe that's going to be the business model on this. The big problem with VIP originally was it was going to make packs way too cheap for people to have a decent amount of value on their packs for those drafters that are out there that are trying to go infinite, which means they basically don't put money into the system. They just keep drafting and they sell whatever they make off of it. It was going to make that a lot tougher for those people to do that, and it's going to reduce the value of cards in general if they had left it fully in place where you could get VIP no matter what. So I hope that this is a good way forward, and that this is a good middle ground for things. I'm guessing they've worked a lot of numbers on this.
I'm sure they saw a trend in the number of purchases of VIP that were happening.
Yeah. So
they wouldn't have done that out of the blue.
Frigid, what do you think about this move? Are you excited about it? I'm excited about it because I missed it. I was like, well, I don't know. I didn't know if I wanted to be tied to it, so I didn't. I missed out on the last couple.
I think part of the change, or the reason for the change, or at least an upside of the change, for making the tickets permanent, is if you're not a fan of Constructed, or say you don't have a deck for Constructed, you're not forced to enter with a subpar deck or one you don't feel comfortable with. You can do 2 sealeds, or say you don't like sealed, you can do 2 Constructeds, just save up your tickets, and that's a good quality of life change, absolutely.
Oh, I think so too.
And I think the VIP tournaments were really popular, so they were probably loath to end them entirely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a good time to stress test too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They want people to have a chance to buy in who weren't here before for the initial offering, and they just needed to fix the dollar amount, basically.
Yeah, and that was another thing that he brought up, exactly what Seraph MTG is saying, is that there were a lot of people that felt a little bit disenfranchised, that they didn't get to buy into the VIP program because they got here a little late, they found the game a little late, and it just gives them a chance to get back in and do some tournaments, because right now, honestly, like it's really good. It's not too bad if you want to do any type of limited play. If you want to do a sealed, sometimes those fire off, but of course your drafts, those fire off all the time. But getting Constructed to fire off can be very difficult to do if you don't have like a couple hours to just wait in queue and beg people to do it. Plus, once you do it, like everyone that comes in is bringing their A game with, like, you know, tier 1 decks, and that's also can be a little bit off-putting for new players, I think. So I think asynchronous is going to hopefully help that out a bit. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the cards that are in Blood. I'm not, unfortunately, going to be able to get through all of the Set 3 cards before Set 3 is released.
Just 1 second there,
Go ahead.
I can't remember if we went over this in detail, but also the thing about asynchronous is it's going to be so good for streamers. One of the biggest problems for streaming is you have so much downtime between rounds, or maybe you don't have enough time to do a full draft before the end of your stream.
Oh, yeah.
This will completely eliminate the downtime and the need to put aside a whole block of 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. Completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, onto the cards, absolutely.
Onto the cards. So we're still in Blood. This is kind of where we left off. We got Gem Soul Feeder. It's a 2/2 for 3 and 1 blood. Threshold. It has Life Drain. and then you can basic one-shot shift the life drain onto another troop. I love this guy. I think this guy's going to be a high draft pick for a common card in the blood zone for people that are drafting in blood already, or that like even as a pack one pick one if your rares and your uncommons suck really bad and you don't have removal or something. Or I would pick this probably over removal even. Just the fact that I can take that life drain and throw it on a bigger troop, or maybe a troop with evasion or something, I think is just an amazing thing to be able to do. So thoughts?
I am so sorry. I'm just splitting with my opponent in the finals here. What's the card?
It's the Gem Soul Feeder. He has the life drain basic one shot. You can shift it off, and he's a 2/2 for 3, and he's one blood threshold.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That seems like a very, very solid limited card. Does not seem constructed playable in the slightest, but yes, it seems like really good and limited.
Maybe someone could try to combo it or something.
Or does
constructed.
I'm unclear on how shift works.
So shift. Okay, so shift you can use it either in your first or second main phase because it's always going to be basic action speed. It's a one shot.
It's basic. Yeah.
It's a one shot ability, so you can only do it once, but you could always revert the troop and then do it again. And then you can actually put life drain on something else. When you do this, the troop that did have it loses it. So if you shifted the life drain from the Gem Soul Feeder onto, like, let's say Fist of Brigadon, Fist of Brigadon will now have life drain, and the Gem Soul Feeder won't have it anymore. But that's fine because he was a 2/2 troop to begin with. So it's kind of like as if Gem Soul Feeder he's a body that provides an ability that you can throw on any other troop. And you can do it for this guy, it costs 1. So if you have 4 resources, you could do it the same turn he comes into play if you wanted to try to avoid removal or something. So
that is a card I would pick highly, absolutely.
Yeah.
In draft, yeah. The ability to shift that life drain onto a much bigger, more relevant body makes a 2/2 for 3, which is already on the verge of playable. Quite good. Quite good.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got the Giant Spider Spawn. It's a 4-cost 4/2 troop, blood threshold, and it's a spider troop. It's called Giant Spider Spawn. I think this may be created by something, but it's basically what we like to call a vanilla troop, as it just doesn't have any abilities. There's really not too much to say about it. Probably not a super high draft pick. You probably have better 4-drops than this.
Yeah, absolutely. I might just pull up a card list so I can follow along a little better with you.
Yeah, so you want me to post that to you so you can find it?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, that seems like a pretty generic.
It's a generic. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually created off of anything. It looks like it might be. But it is a common card. Actually, the created cards have a different icon, so this one is definitely just a common card. Moving on, we've got Grant's Gift. It's a 4-cost blood threshold constant socketable major. So you could socket this with any gem out there, and as long as you have the threshold for that gem, it'll be active. Gems usually go on troops, but in this set we're introducing a lot of gems that are being socketed into a constant like this one, or into actions that you play on the troops and then they gain the ability. So the text on it says, transform target non-zombie troop in your graveyard into a zombie with all the socketed powers of this, and then put it into play. And it costs 4 for you to do that. So what this card basically says is anything in your graveyard, you now have the ability to recursion it back into play permanently, and it's a zombie, which that's not too much of a problem as long as there's a non-zombie. So if it gets killed again, then you can't get it back a second time. But this is the most ridiculous card I've seen in set 3. I haven't spent a lot of time reading through all the cards. Honestly, I'm going to have to do some homework this weekend before set 3 is released. And of course, we also have a tournament coming up for 5 shards, so I forgot that I actually need to work that into the schedule and talk about that tonight before too long. But yeah, that's kind of a really big deal card. Frigid.
My only issue with this card is it's absurdly slow. You need to play 4 resources to play out this constant, and then you need to pay another 4 resources and have a troop in your yard to get back.
There's some conditions that have to be met,
which is a 2/2. That's 8 resources, and all you get is a 2/2 with a major socket, which is obviously a big deal. You will build your deck around that major socket, or maybe you'll build your deck around reverting that zombie into something much better. That's the more likely line. This card seems to me like it could be an engine card, but it could also just be a complete dud just because of
could be a
influence.
trap. That's a trap. Just as I want to mention it, next week we do have the 5 Shards tournament that's going on, so make sure to get out to that. It does include set 3 cards. There have been some complaints, but unfortunately that's the nature of the game. I would have liked it. I'm sure we would have liked it too, but there's no way for us to judge exactly when the sets are coming out. Typically, major tournaments don't happen until at least 2 weeks after a major set release. But that's just not the way we were able to do things. I will be out there supporting that, streaming for that next weekend, which will be next Saturday. So do come out to that. Sign up for it on the 5 Shards website. And I don't have anything to pull it up right now, but make sure to get out and do that. Moving on to the next card.
I will say, actually, the Grunts gift in limited could be absurd as long as you can stall long enough. Because remember, the zombies that you get from Grant's gift will go back into your yard to immediately be recycled into the churn, into the grist again. So
well, no, you can't. Like if they're a zombie, you can't do it. Non-zombie.
Target non-zombie.
Target non-zombie. So yeah, you can't just keep recursioning
the. It could still generate enough value in a limited deck though to be much more.
But you could make it like you could do some things with this. I think that would be pretty neat.
Cards that generate value over time are much better, of course, in limited than in a fast format like Constructed, or has been a fast format.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got Harvest of Sorrows at 3 cost, 1 blood threshold. It says, quick action, draw a card for each of your troops that died this turn. I don't know. It's nice because it's kind of faster than the other card. What's the current one? It costs 4 and you can draw 3 cards. You have to sacrifice a troop.
A necessary sacrifice.
Necessary sacrifice. I mean, it costs 1 less than that. It's a little bit easier to get to, but I mean, you're basically playing some sort of shin hair or token deck to get this to do something for you. I don't know if I see it. I don't know. I don't really value this too highly, even though it does draw cards and it may do it ridiculously efficiently. In a certain situation, it just seems like it might be too difficult to pull off.
Yeah,
how do you feel about it?
No, I don't want it. Won't play it.
Won't play it. Yeah. Next, we've got the Hatchery Broodguard. He's a 4/5 troop. He's 6 and 1 blood threshold. He's a Venom Warrior, which means he's a spider, even though he doesn't really look like a spider from that picture. He looks kind of more like a zombie or something. But it says, when this enters play, create 6 spiderling eggs, which are the 1/1 spiderlings that have unblockable, for each opposing champion, and put them into their decks. So basically, like in a multiplayer format later on, you should be able to take 6 spiderling eggs and put them into each of those champions decks. Is the way I read that, is what it's aiming for. I don't know, maybe a limited bomb is okay, you know, for that, but I don't really see this guy seeing play in Constructed.
Yeah, the even Fentio himself, the spiderling deck that we've been testing is just being a little bit too slow for Constructed. You know, you can flood your opponent's deck with spiderlings quite quickly in Constructed, very, very quickly, but it often just doesn't really do enough. Of course, in Limited, this guy is crazy good.
Oh, yeah.
Great stats and an ability that makes sure you're going to slowly generate troop advantage, get in that unblockable chip damage at a quite reasonable pace.
Yeah. So we are done looking at cards. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to review all the cards, but there are plenty of reviews out there on Reddit. There's been quite a few that I've seen. I think 5 Shards also has quite a few card reviews if you need more opinions on set 3 cards. But what we are going to do is we're going to build a sealed deck. I went ahead and did a sealed pool for us. So these are all of our sealed cards that we've got here. In fact, I'll just turn off all the champions so we can do that. And I'll go ahead and post a link to this in the chat so that way you can follow along and You know, you can yell at your monitor when I make all the choices that you would not make. Let's see here. We want to definitely turn off all of our champions. So let's turn on all types except for champions so we can look at what kind of cards we've got to... So typically what I like to do is sealed is I'll look at my rare cards and uncommons, and I'll look at my pools individually. So let's do that first. Let's first of all look at our rare cards. Rarity. Let's look at our rares and legendaries. So our rare cards, we got Zin'xith Silk, which is a resource that as long as you have a lot of venom, which are basically a bunch of spiders, you get blood or sapphire, and you could create a spiraling egg. So it's basically a dual shard, which come into play unexhausted all the time, which is pretty nice. We have Windsinger, Master of the Hunt. The resources are replenished at the end of each opposing champion's turn. When opposing champion draws a card, you may draw a card. So this guy keeps you ahead. This seems like a pretty awesome bomb. It costs us 6, 2 wild resources, and 2 sapphires. So maybe if we can ramp up, we can justify playing this bomb. We picked up Rhythmic Spiritualist, which is a 3-cost 3/4 with 2 wild threshold. At the end of your turn, you may put target troop from your graveyard into your deck. If you do, that troop gets +2/+2 and costs -2. Seems pretty ridiculous already for us to run this Coyotes. Just those 2 cards by themselves are kind of pushing me in that direction. Disciple of Yakuzan, another great card. It's got that flight and speed. When another troop enters your graveyard, if this is in your graveyard, add a soul counter to this at the start of your turn. If there are more soul counters on this, and this is in your graveyard, put this into play and remove all the soul counters from it. So basically you can recursion it back into play, I believe. I'm trying to read it. I'm reading it again. Add soul counter to this to start your turn. If there's 3 or more soul counters in the graveyard, put this into play and remove soul counters from it. Okay, so like as things die, it comes back. So yeah, it seems pretty good. Blessing the Unicorns is crazy costed. 5/5 troop with invincible, 4 for 3 diamond troop. At the end of your turn, if you control less than 2 other diamond troops, put this into your hand. So it returns to your hand. That's its drawback, but it's a ridiculously efficient troop. Augur of Sirion. You can see the top card of your deck. You can play the top card on your deck. So right now, right off the bat, before I look at any of the other cards, it really feels like I want to play something Sapphire Wild with this deck. Looking at just my rare cards.
Well, I mean, it's got a Frigid Buffalo in it, so I'm instantly have to be Sapphire. No question. No question.
No questions. No questions asked. So let's look at our uncommon pools real quick. And I'll split these up into the different shards. So we've got Wild, and Sapphire was kind of like a big deal for us. So Sylvan Performer, cards cost 5 or greater, you draw a card. Okay, that's pretty good. Drummer is pretty good, I guess. Actually, I'll probably look at the commons as well, just to look at the pool properly. The Wrathwood Larch is really good because it's going to help us get those wild shards into play. So that's our ramp card. So already that's pretty good for us. I'm trying to see if there's any other ramp or some of the other good stuff we may want to see. Lightning Brave seems pretty sick as a 3/2 vanilla, but it has flight. Frigid Buffalo. Here you go. There's your Frigid Buffalo.
That's my vanity card.
Is that's your vanity card?
No.
I was gonna say, but it could be. I mean, you could have really told me that, and I would have believed it for like at least at least 3 weeks. Drawing cards is pretty good. I mean, this seems reasonably good. I'm not seeing a lot of removal, which kind of troubles me. The bodies are decently good. Sacred Seekers, Storm Drummer, Sylvan Performer is going to maybe draw some cards. Sylvan Duet is a little bit of ramp, but it's kind of expensive ramp. Thunderfield Seer. Next action. So it's a lot of card drawing, which I guess could help us out when we're running a lot of resources. Drawing extra cards is always helpful because that helps us get more spells in our hand when we flood out or something like that, which is very possible because in this type of deck we may run a high curve like 18 shards, maybe.
This is a deck that's really running off the back of its rares and legendaries. I would not pass up those three rare and legendary wild sapphire cards, just because they're so ridiculously powerful. Particularly the 4/6 that whenever your opponent draws a card, you draw a card.
I mean, it's like this card like runs on card drawing.
Yeah, we have ramp. We have other guys that we have the 5 cost 2/2 that gives +5/+5 to the next troop in your deck, which you need ramp to run that kind of card. Obviously, 5 resources for a 2/2 is a terrible deal. But we also have the guy that costs 3 or 2, I believe, and whenever we play something cost 5 or greater, we draw a card. This is going to be a ramp / fatty deck, and we have just enough kind of stall there that we should be able to pull it off. We have like the Scrapyard Bruiser, who is an incredibly good stall card. He's a 3 cost 2/2. When he dies, create a 1/1 artifact troop and put it into play. So
yeah,
it seems like we've got just enough tiny bodies to let our big fatties take over the game here. There's also the bounce card, cost 2, give a troop -1 attack and put it into its controller's hand. That'll obviously be quite a good stall card for this deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my other shards just to make sure we didn't overlook anything, but like right now I'm seeing like, okay, there's 2 skewers over here. That's pretty good removal for Ruby. That's really, and Ember Tears, I guess, kind of gets me a little bit excited. Fiery Indignation. Those are all pretty good Ruby removal cards, but the other two shards, our Diamond and our Blood, were pretty not great. I mean, we have a Spirit Eagle, which is pretty good. Not really seeing, I mean, anything that really gets me excited about playing Diamond. And then over in Blood, we have, I believe we have removal in Rockcast, which is destroy target opposing troop with cost 3 or less. So really not getting too excited about that stuff. So let's go with the Sapphire Wild, unless someone has an objection in the thing that I've overlooked.
Our costs are a bit ridiculous in terms of thresholds, but I still might look into splashing that Fiery Indignation. It's generally going to be 5 damage in our deck for 2 resources, and we do have generally a lack of removal, obviously being in these colors, Wild and Sapphire. It might not be possible to fit in the Fiery Indignation, but in Sealed I will often splash removal out of another color just to, you know, get me to my big creatures.
Yeah, so Fiery Indignation is not that bad because it's only 1 Ruby threshold. It says deal 2 damage to target troop. If you control a card with cost 5 or greater, deal an additional 3 damage to the troop. So yeah, you could deal 5 damage to a troop. It only deals damage to troops though, so it doesn't go to the face. So that's only one thing, one drawback. There's only 1 in our reserve, so may not be worth it. But you know, not such a bad idea, I guess.
No, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. So we'll go and throw it in there, and we'll see. If we have to cut back, it'll probably be one of the first things to cut. But yeah, let's go ahead and get our rares and legendaries back up here. So we definitely want the 2 Wrathwood Larch. We definitely want those.
I forgot to talk about that guy. Yes, he's also the guy that will help us get to our big troops, since he'll be a big body when we need him to be, and he'll find our shards when we need our shards.
When this readies, draw a card for Tireless Researchers.
We do have one of the other. Oh, that is Larch, right?
Yeah, it's Larch. We've got 2 of them. Yeah. So basically, with this guy, in the early stages of the games, if we have at least 2 resources, we discard him, basically throw him into our graveyard, and then we get a wild shard. So it's basically he becomes Chlorophylla, is what he turns into. So that's reasonably good. I think this guy is actually going to see constructed play. I think he will see some constructed play just because he's another Chlorophylla you can have in your deck. I'm going to put the Sylvan Duet in here, but I'm not too stoked about playing it.
It's really absurdly expensive for ramp, but this seems like the kind of deck that's going to be playing a large amount of 6 drops, so maybe it's a necessary evil, maybe?
Maybe, yeah, you're right. Sylvan Performer might actually do some stuff for us. Cost 5 or greater, draw a card. I mean, it seems like most of the stuff we have in here is like draw a card for this, draw a card for that. Go ahead and just draw cards. We got the Storm Drummer. Let's see, next troop in your deck gets when this troop enters play, you may have it battle targeted. So there's our removal with this guy. You may have it, so it doesn't have to battle. opposing troops, but that could give us some of the removal that we're missing out on. Sepulchra Bonewalker, is that one you were talking about? No, it's not. I'm trying to find the one. Scrapyard Bruiser. That's the one that creates other guys.
Oh yeah, he'll be essential to this deck.
Yeah, so definitely want that guy in here. Smash to the ground. Target troop gets X+X this turn, and it's quick action. So this is definitely removal that we need in this deck. You know, we only have one of it, but it's definitely removal that we will need.
Did you have the Storm Drummer in there in the wild?
Yeah, I got him. Yeah. Got the Storm Drummer. Suffocate, I think you talked about this. Interrupt a card, opposing card, create 2 Spiraling Eggs, controller, and put them into their deck. So this is basically counter magic.
Yeah, it's really expensive counter magic.
But in our deck, it should be okay. I mean, it's removal.
It could be okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll be fine, especially in limited. I would play this, like as a one-of in most of my limited decks, because it is. I'm looking to counter things. The Spiraling Eggs is kind of like a bonus. You know, getting those unblockable 1/1s. Plus, with the big bodies that we have in play, that could push us over the edge if we happen to draw. If our opponent happens to draw them and break a stalemate.
I might play it. I wouldn't be happy about it. It's a little too expensive for me. Yeah.
When the center's play, look at target champion's hand. The Smirking Trickster is okay. I mean, I don't know that I need to look at my opponent's hand really with him. He seems like he might be better for constructed play if he's playable at all, or if we need to fill a space in our 2-drops. But most of the time on our 2-drops, we're going to want to discard our Wrathwood Larch and get that extra shard, that extra wild shard, and put it into play most of the time.
Yeah, I really like Arcane Focus in the Sapphire. I think that's a fantastic card. It's so efficient.
Turn off Ruby here.
I like Arcane Focus so much. It's just one of my favorite cards in the new set.
Did I not? Is it down? It's probably down a ways. Oh, is it not in our... Oh, here it is, down here. Arcane Focus is 1 cost. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one of them in your hand. Put the remaining card in your deck. Yeah, that's going to be a huge card. I bet that sees constructed play. The Augur of Sirion, we already talked about. He's pretty sick. We're going to throw him in there for sure. Entangling Webs. Additionally, cost to play this exhaust or ready troop control, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. Exhaust 2 target troops that can't ready during the control step. So this could help us hold on to early board state if we needed to. It's kind of like a maybe card, maybe as a one-of. I don't know that I would play 2 of it.
Probably a necessary evil to play one of them, yeah. Just to hold on, since all our troops are so tiny for their cost.
Yeah, the Earthcaller.
Until we get to 6, we have nothing that's on curve for its cost, except maybe like Frigid Buffalo and the Scrap guy.
Yeah. Epiphany, Charged Champion draws 2 cards. So this is 4 for draw 2 cards. This will not see any constructed play given that we have Oracle Song in set 1 still. Seems pretty bad even if we didn't have Oracle Song. But in our deck, maybe we might play it. We'll put 1 in there. Gossamer's Tears, when the center's play, you gain 6 health. At the start of your turn, gain 1 health. I don't know about that. I mean, it doesn't change the board state, but it's definitely one you could consider siding in against hyper-aggressive decks, although it costs 5, so I don't know that it would really even help. Lightning Brave is pretty good for us. Again, 3/2 flyer for 4 is pretty reasonable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mecha Filk Ape is okay. I don't know if we have anything to revert, though. I would not play this if I don't have anything to revert, so I need to look over my cards right now.
We have enough 6-drops already. I would probably actually play the flying 6-drop.
The Oculus of Azathoth?
Yeah, the Oculus.
Oh, yeah.
As our third 6-drop.
Spell Shield? Flight? Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy might actually see constructed play. I mean, he has Spell Shield and Flight. I mean, that's pretty sick.
I mean,
but then Storm Colossus is...
less and is much easier to cast than Storm Colossus.
Storm Colossus, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Part of the reason Storm Colossus didn't see play very much was his triple Sapphire threshold cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did see some, like as a one-of.
Super expensive, yeah. Yeah, no, he did see not none, certainly.
So, Relic is okay for our deck. I'm not sure how we would gem him. We could gem him wild, I guess. Maybe. But you could gem him major, so I don't know. Rhythmic Spiritualist we already talked about, so we'll put him in there. He's definitely good for the cost. Runeweb Infiltrator.
We've got great diamond troops and tricks like Chimera Guard Fallen. He's a 3-cost 2/2 with shift. When this attacks, it gets attack equal to this troop's defense this turn. So you put that on something big, and it's just gonna be hitting super hard. And then it's got the metal, which is quite a nice cheap trick, and the Mesa Lookout, the quick troop for 2/2. When this enters play, target troop gets 2 defense this turn. Then you gain 2 health. But it would require ignoring our bombs, basically. But it's too bad because our diamond is actually probably our solid and most deep color. But I don't quite think we should go there.
Yeah, the Root Forged Regalia is kind of like a trick that your opponent sees coming. I'm not really a big fan of it. It could help you accelerate board state. If you're playing a more aggressive deck, Root Forged Regalia, like an Orc deck, really fast Orc deck, I'd be all about this, but I don't think I can see playing it in this deck.
If it was quick, you wouldn't have to use it. You could just threaten to use it. And the threat of using it would make combat math a nightmare for your opponent. But the fact that it's basic means I'm just overpaying. I'm just overpaying for Root Forged Regalia most of the time.
Nibelheim Skirmisher seems pretty decent. So I think I can throw him in there. Nelebrin Treeguard is just a 4/3, but I mean for the cost he's okay.
Yeah, we just need big dudes to be able to trade before we hit 6.
And I'm not really seeing anything else. I wonder how many cards we have right now. Let's see how many cards we have. We have 22 cards right now. We said 18 shards. We only have one. We have that one ruby Fiery Indignation, which will only play like 1 shard, so we can actually cast. I mean, I feel like we're mostly there. The curve on the deck it's all right. I mean, considering we do have like a lot of these things that are reporting as 6 are actually 2 drops. So in our 6 drop range, we actually only have 3 cards.
Worth taking a look through the ruby, see if there's one more card we want to splash, maybe.
Okay.
It is a bit nicer if you're splashing 1 card, often to be able to splash 2. So I
mean, ruby does give us access to Vandalize, which in the after reserves is okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Sword play. I mean, I typically don't like to main deck just destroy target artifact because you never know if your opponent even has.
Yeah,
any.
Generally, if you're splashing, what you want to do is splash either removal or
probably the skewer.
Really
but
nice
the thing is, the problem with skewer is it's double ruby.
We can't do double. Yeah, there's just nothing here. There's just nothing here. Yeah, there's nothing here that we could splash.
Mechanized Demolisher is kind of exciting.
Wild double Sapphire card. So yeah.
What's a demolition? A demolition is demolition. Okay. That kind of makes me want to throw together a demolition deck. Fiery Hand Invoker.
Oh, we have Relic of Nulzann. Did we put that in?
We did not. Oh yeah, we did.
Well.
No, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's really good. Because we throw the minor gem in it, and
exactly.
It gets pretty good.
It's a 3/3 for 3, which is completely reasonable if you want to go in that direction, or like a.
There's the Runeweb Infiltrator. We could throw that in there as a nice evasive troop, but it's okay. I mean, I guess it has like that additional 2 spiderling eggs in your opponent's deck.
We could also think about Sepulchra Bonewalker, which will always be at least a 2/2, just for something to play.
Yeah. Well, most of the time it'll be a 2/2. Once in a while it won't be. I mean, it could be a 3/3 in our deck, so I guess that's pretty good.
Absolutely.
That kind of encourages us to play that ruby shard for sure. I like that. I like that idea. Excellent, Smithers. Excellent. What is this totem? Exhaust 2 Coyote you control, which I don't know if I have that many. The next troop in your deck gets +1/+1. The Bright Moon totem seems like it's more or less going to be too slow for any format, unless you just drafted all Coyotles.
The nice thing about this format is there's less removal, less super aggressive troops, so you can build a ramp deck like this, have a ramp champion that supports your plan, and not get run over as many times by Fazuko decks as you did in set 2.
Yeah. Speaking of champions, we should probably choose a champion for this deck. So let's go ahead and do that. I can't remember if there's a ramp champion right now. I've looked over the champions and I haven't memorized. Honestly, I haven't. As much as I preach about memorizing the cards, I haven't spent a lot of time memorizing the cards. So hopefully we'll find something decent here. I mostly want to get a set 3 champion in here. That's what I want to kind of focus on.
Yeah, well, we would only be able to select a set 3 champion.
Let's see here. Create a Scorch and put this in your hand. Well, I don't know if that's how it's going to work after. Is Sealed going to work where it's going to be 6 packs of the current set and only set 3 champions all the time, or is it just going to be next weekend?
For the moment, yeah. Just set 3 cards, set 3 champions. I don't know if they plan to bring back older formats. I assume they do at some point, but anytime soon, I don't think so. Let's see,
where is a good one? I keep seeing the PvE ones. Windsinger, Elandria. Create a Gigantosaur? No, we don't want that. No, I don't want a Gigantosaur in my hand. What am I supposed to do with that? Create an Oracle Song, but it costs 7. That's probably not the greatest. Cressida.
There is one that generates a resource.
Cressida is probably going to be your optimal one here. Yeah, so for Ruby and Wild and 3 charges, you can get a temporary resource. So that could just push you over the edge of what you need to get to those 6 drops. So it's probably going to be our champion here, but we'll look through the rest of them just to see if there's something that's better. Okay. What is this guy? Draw a card. Well, this is double Ruby.
Yeah,
so.
Sorry, I don't have the champion list pulled up at the moment, but I believe there is one that generates a resource.
If I do Wild, will it come up with just the Wild ones? Zodiac Shaman wants us to play Diamond. Coyotes in all decks get +1/+1 and cost -1. When a champion draws troops. Oh wait, no, that's not right. That's a PvE champion. I was like, that's so crazy. That's because it's not for me.
Oh,
no.
Here we go. I got the list.
You got it? Next troop in your deck. So this one's not bad either. The Sagebrush, next troop in your deck gets +1/+1. That's reasonably good for one Wild, and we're going to be mainly Wild anyways. That's reasonable.
Okay, so the resource gaining champion is Ruby Wild, so we can't do that, no.
Oh, you're right. That's right. So yeah, we'll probably go Sagebrush then, huh? I mean, it's not the best, but it seems like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I think that's the way we do this. We just go with this guy, and then he just pumps our guys. We did complain about how small our first guys are, so I mean, the only issue with playing that guy, the only clunky thing about playing him is if you have like a Wrathwood Larch and you have to like toss it into the yard, that's not going to feel good if you spent your champion power on him.
It's either that guy or the one who's -1 attack for 3 charges to one of your opponents. Because maybe we're not the most aggressive deck, obviously. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's much weaker than Xerath, of course. Much weaker than Xerath. But overall, the set 3 champions are intended to be weaker than the set 1 and 2 champions.
Or the one that says put 2 target cards in your graveyard in your deck. Those cards get, when you play this, draw a card. That seems combo-tastic with the Wrathwood Larch. What do you think about that?
I think we're gonna need everything we can throw at our opponents just to make it to turn 6. So I think it's probably one of the 2 previous ones we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would try.
Nice, but
I would definitely try it.
Absolutely try that champion.
I mean, it only costs 2.
With a deck this slow. Yeah.
Right. So let's go to. So probably, what are you thinking? Are you thinking Sagebrush with the Prophecy, or what was the other one we talked about?
Probably Sagebrush. I'd like to try him and see how he works out.
Okay, so we'll go Sagebrush here. But, you know, you could also try the Winter Moon. You are set up for both Sapphire, so you could go that direction.
Yeah.
Right now we're at 25 cards in the deck, so we need to get rid of 3 cards. Our curve doesn't look that bad, actually. It would be nice to maybe get rid of one of our 4-point cards. Our 5-point range, or rather our 6-point range, is actually only 3 cards, because 2 of those cards are Wrathwood Larches, which we can play for 2. We can discard them for 2. So they actually pump up our 2-point range a little bit more. It would be nice to maybe have another 1 or 2 drop. Or I guess we do have plenty of 1 drops.
Yeah, we probably just need to cut one of our 4 drops, like maybe Tireless Researcher.
Sylvan Duet. I mean, maybe Sylvan Duet.
Maybe. I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into cutting Sylvan Duet.
Yeah.
We got 6 drops, but we're
playing 18 resources. We've got all this card draw. I just don't see Sylvan Duet making a difference here.
Yeah.
I just don't, like, it doesn't even deck thin us.
No.
It just gains us 0-2. I just don't see it. I think that's a good choice.
Smash to the ground there. I haven't seen that card before.
Smash to the ground is you pay X and your target troop gets +X this turn, and it's quick action speed. You need to have 2 wild thresholds.
Awesome.
It's ridiculous. This will end games for the wild player. And you know, oh, you didn't block that guy? Oh, you didn't block that guy?
Yeah,
+8. Maybe get rid of the Infiltrator. I mean, he's okay, but not amazing.
Maybe.
Either that, or we could get rid of Fiery Indignation, but I think I'm okay with Fiery Indignation.
I think it serve a purpose in this deck. Yeah, absolutely. We should only need to run 2 rubies for it. What's the Skirmisher guy?
Skirmisher guy.
Yeah, he's just up a little. The Nelebrin Skirmisher.
That guy is pretty good if I remember right.
He's 3 cost to give +2 or +3.
It costs 3 to give it +2/+2 this turn, but you can do that over and over again. So, you know, he's a pumpable troop. You can pump him in response to attacks. I think he's reasonably good.
I don't know about that guy. I think I might. To me, that's the card I would cut.
That's the card you would cut? All right, we'll cut that. Cut that guy, and I'm still thinking. I feel like we need 18 resources, and I'm looking at this Infiltrator, and I'm going, this is like a side-in on game 2 type of card.
Yeah, if you want to run well, no, you know what? We don't need 18 because we have the Wrathwood Larches, right?
We have them, but I feel more comfortable with 18. But I mean, if you feel like you're fine with 17,
I think 17 and 2 Wrathwood Larches is probably good enough.
Okay. Another thing that's really great about the Wrathwood Larch is you don't even have to have Threshold to make this work. So if you drew a Ruby Threshold and then a Sapphire Shard, then you can still play this guy and get the Wild Shard. I think that is like one of the best things about him. It's ridiculously good.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So let's go ahead and get our shards set up, and then we will close out the episode. Actually, I might just do this.
Yeah, it's just probably like 2 rubies, 8 wilds, or 7 wilds.
Actually, if I just type in shard, it should come up.
17 shards.
So we're saying 2 ruby,
8 wild, 5 sapphire, or no, 8 sapphire, 5 wild. Right. Just look at our ratios, and also the largest. Yeah.
Do you have a different way of doing ratios than I do? Do you know how? Have you watched me before do ratios? No, I'm just asking. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I just want to know if there's a different way than what I do that you have that's special.
I just look at the percentages and see what I have in double costs.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this doesn't really show me. But what I do is I count the icons. So I go through wild, for instance, and I'll count like 2 Wrathwood Larch would be 2 wild icons, and then this would be 1. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wild icons, and then Sapphire we've got, oh actually I didn't count Windsinger, so I said 11, right? Did I say 11? So 13 wild icons, and then Sapphire we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we actually have more Sapphire icons than we have Wild icons in this deck.
We also have more double cost, double threshold Wild spells than Sapphire ones, but we have the 2 Larches, and we have more Sapphire spells total than Wild ones. So we'll probably just cheat 1 extra in favor of Sapphire in this.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think as well. Yeah, I would actually go 8 Sapphire and like 7 Wild, and then the 2 Ruby is what I would do.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect. This is not like an ideal sealed pool to open. I myself in sealed generally prefer to have a bit smoother of a curve. Our curve is actually not bad. It's just our troops aren't big enough for my liking, and our removal is lacking, which is why we're splashing the Ruby. And I'm not. I wouldn't be like super excited by this pool, but the rares are
nice.
That
yeah, and you're probably
the games that you do get to land them.
The Windsinger by himself. I mean, it's a unique, legendary, and in the first couple of weeks, especially if someone finds a way to break this card, this could, go up in price quite quickly. I think. I don't know if it's going to go crazy like some of the other legendaries that we've seen in some of the other constructed decks, but I'd price this guy out at least at $8 right off the bat. At least $8.
Oh yeah. There was a magic card. Its name is not coming to me right now, but it was a Sphinx. But it was the same stats. It was whenever your opponent draws a card, you draw 2, and it was 1.
Yeah,
so
I remember that guy.
That's a bigger deal.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Oh man, that guy just ruined people's days.
Yeah.
And Windsinger will perform a similar function in just that ridiculous card advantage and locking out your opponent from trying to use a draw card strategy.
All right, so tonight on Decking with the Squire, we had Frigid on. We're going to do a drawing after the show, so do stick around for that. But then after that, you guys all need to head back over to the charity stream on the main Hex TCG channel, which is on twitch.com/HexTCG. Tonight we talked about, I introduced you to Frigid, and he's going to plug his channel one more time. So if you haven't started following him, then you need to. Just saying. Go over there, give him a follow. And also, we talked about a lot of the different news that's going on. We're bringing back VIP tournaments, which is pretty exciting. They're doing, we got set 3s released. Some of the alternate art cards are going away. We got double gold going on this weekend. We got the charity stream going on this weekend. So if you haven't given to that, then, maybe just chuck $5 their way, at least give a little bit for it and help the community out that way. It's for the kids. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do my sign off. Frigid is gonna plug his channel, and he's gonna do his cool sign off, which he told me before the show. So that's all by itself. That's why you should follow Frigid, because he has an awesome sign off like yours truly. So until next time, this is Aaron Squire signing off, saying God bless your family. He's trying to raise so much out there, and over the Frigid, he's gonna say.
Thanks for having me on, Aaron Squire. I really appreciate it. I had a good time. I also really like your nerd cave that I can see behind you on the camera there. It's awesome. Yeah, my channel is twitch.tv/FrigidHex. You can catch me 3 p.m. West Coast time, Monday to Thursday, Fridays at twitch.tv/Sithos. And good night, good luck, good games, and be excellent to each other. Thank you so much.